remember I was like sitting there one day thinking like, how did it end up here?
In the beginning, you don't think that those pictures are going to end up anywhere. And the next thing you know, they're being sold.
You think it's not going to happen to me, or I'm too smart for that.
And if you think it can't happen to you, maybe you should think again. My name is Sky, and I'm 20 years old. When I was 13 years old, I got introduced to the downtown east side.
I got involved in this work because I lost a 13-year-old daughter to the sex trade.
And you think it's not going to happen to me, or I'm too smart for that. It's not about being smart. It's about needing something and looking for it in the wrong places.
I started using drugs when I was 10 years old, and when I was 12 years old, I met my partner. Little to my knowledge did I know that he was a pimp, and he gave me my first hit of heroin, told me it was free.
They keep almost a record of what they've spent over the luring process and say, well, to start off, you owe me $5,000 for all the things all the clothes I bought you, all the dinners I've taken to you, and all these things.
Well, yeah, I was sexually exploited. You know, it took me a long time to understand what that means when you do, you have sex for money or for clothes or anything, and even the pictures, you know.
I remember he was like, hey, it's not free anymore. That's when the exploitation started.
We had pimps that were 26, 27, 28 years old hanging out at schools, and you don't see that now. More of it is young girls recruiting other girls for a pimp or a gang member.
Now it is much more organized. The computer, just like times are changing and everything is becoming electronic, so are their recruiting practices. 10 years ago, the Vancouver Police Department could even find the children a lot easier than they can now.
They've been having these parties for a while, and I've been wanting to go, and finally I got invited, and that's where I met Tanya. I didn't think too much of it because she was like part of a different circle, and she was a bit older and dressed nicer, and I didn't think she'd take any interest of me. And then we ended up that night exchanging phone numbers, and then just out of nowhere she started texting me. Started going shopping with her, and she would buy all these nice clothes, and then one day she offered to buy me some clothes.
Like I say, I've seen it happen within 2 hours, but I've seen the process of whining and dining and buying some clothes and some jewelry and paying a lot of attention.
One day I met this guy. He was nice. We became friends. He wasn't living on the streets or anything like that, but he would help me out from time to time.
I don't think they can wrap their head around the fact that there are young guys in the trade. It exists, you know? There's a lot.
I just got so tired of everything. Of all the people in my life, everything around me. And I grabbed some clothes and came to Vancouver.
There's this popular myth of, you know, that men are strong. They're, you know, they can't show their vulnerabilities. That they can't show their weaknesses. That, you know, issues of violence, and they don't touch men because men are strong, and, you know, men don't cry.
I didn't want to do it, but I was so broke. And it sounds kind of strange, but it felt like I had value.
A lot of times when someone thinks of sex trade or sexual exploitation, they think of females. Boys can be sexually exploited as well.
There's a lot of stigma and shame around boys in the trade.
I remember I was like sitting there one day thinking like, how did it end up here? And I'd love to blame it on drugs. I really would. He filled that void.
Well, I thought at the time that my old friends didn't understand me. We weren't getting along because I thought they were jealous. I thought they didn't understand, you know, what was going on. I was changing a lot, and they didn't see that. They didn't see it my way. Yeah, I lost touch.
The activity on the street is almost disappearing, and almost all the sex trade is moving into online environments. Now, the street corners are Nexopia and Bebo and Facebook.
Soon, him and Tanya and Piero thought it'd be a good idea if took pictures of Tanya and I fooling around kind of thing. I wasn't too sure how I felt about that in the beginning. She just started texting me these angry texts about, you know, don't be a baby, I'll just do it and it'll be fun. And yeah, just felt like I had to.
I have a program on my computer right now that that does facial recognition, right? That will go through my photo album and I can tag 2 photos of my friend, and then it will go through my database and we'll find all the pictures of my friend. We'll give it 2 years and we're gonna be able to do facial recognition on the web. So I can get a picture of you and I can scan it into a search engine, and that search engine's gonna scan the web for every picture of you that's posted online. Then what?
Once you give somebody a picture and it makes its way to the internet, it's like a tattoo. Like you get a tattoo here and it's there forever. It's on the internet forever.
Well, a lot of times young people are giving out too much information. We see young people putting on Facebook, for example, a picture of themselves outside their school with the school name behind. So they don't see that as giving out personal information, but a predator can find that young person because now they know what school they're at.
I can obtain all this information and look at what your likes and dislikes are and start to sweet talk you, and it doesn't take long.
I've talked with workers in the last 2 months that have told me that it takes less than 2 weeks to go from no contact to downtown on the stroll or working out of an internet cafe.
So let's say I'm some creepy person and I'm trying to find some young kids that I can prey on. I can create a search. Let's say I'm looking for people around Maple Ridge, 14 to 16 years old, who like drinking. I do a search, put that in. 5 seconds later, I've got dozens of profiles of people that fits.
It's important that less of these sexually exploited youth turn into adults in the sex trade and have no way out.
My outreach worker and that one cop were like my guardian angels. They saved my life, time and time again.
Outreach is the cornerstone of the Hustle program. It's providing harm reduction materials, nutrition, hygiene. It's really about building relationships, about reaching out, finding out why the men and the youth are where they are, what we can do to support them in the moment. Let's have another awesome shift, so why don't we pack some bags? Yeah. I'm thinking I wish we had more to offer. I mean, we pack these bags really full, right? We pack them with as much stuff as we can that we've got, like, you know, we try and get them hydrated and we try and give them something to eat snack-wise, and, you know, socks are big. It's as much as we can put in these bags, right? I wish we could offer more.
I tried exiting a year and a half into the trade, and my ex threatened my life and my family's lives.
Yeah, I wish I could have talked to somebody. I wish I could have talked to some of my old friends. My mom. Yeah.
Talk to someone, anyone, a friend or a teacher or a cop, anyone. That moment of shame is better than the feeling of being exploited. It doesn't go away.
Whenever I would look in the mirror, I was not the girl that I knew. And eventually I just couldn't look in mirrors anymore because I couldn't stand to see myself. A lot of sex trade workers come from good families and have good backgrounds and good upbringings. I did, right? I had everything I ever wanted.
And they come from all walks of life. I've had them from different places all through the country, and they could be on the west side of Vancouver one day, and the next day they can be out on Kingsway working for some guy.
Doesn't matter where you're from, who your parents are, where you've grown up, anything. It can happen to anyone. No one's immune. No one's immune from sexual exploitation. And if you think it can't happen to you, maybe you should think again.